in steel cage, that's a fact. In a world unseen, wrestling dreams ignite. Power bombs, drop kicks, midnight fights. Ropes tight, spotlight, no freaks in the sight. Underappreciated hearts, keep it real, keep it tight. Underappreciated hearts, keep it real, keep it tight.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the P.U.W.F, the Wrestling Talk. I want to say this now before we start. I just had some breaking news. We are not going to see Drunk Walk for a couple weeks. He's going to Alaska to find his bears. So, in light of that, RIP for now, Mr. Drunk Walk.
In the eyes of an angel, we shall miss you. Oh.
All right.
I miss that handsome man.
I know, sir. We'll find some love for you, too. We'll find some love for you. Duels is the way to go. Now, welcome to the podcast for Unappreciated Wrestling Fans, where we talk about news, rumors, topics of wrestling, and otherwise. Now, if Joe BNCO comes in between the hour of this show, then it turns into 3 hours, and I'm just going to bye-bye. But normally, we have 3 topics to talk about during the week of wrestling, and we discussed about it. If people come in and leave their comments, please do. Like, subscribe, share, comment, follow all that jazz. Mr.FLINT 810 on YouTube, Mr. Joe Space BNCO on YouTube, Mr. Kane the Destroyer on YouTube, Mrs. Kardala Mohammed with 1M on YouTube, and myself, Rican Reaction. Don't really care about myself, so whatever. So, first topic, we're going to go from a list to Flair to then the Rat Riddle. First up, top 10 list of tag teams.
Lights down, low, we're in the zone. Talking legends on the microphone. Steel case.
All right. Now, we talked about this. We talked about this D-Walk on the other show a couple weeks ago. Actually, a week ago on our message chat on Messenger about the top 10. We saw there Bianca and Jade is number 1, Fraction is number 2, and everything else. What are your thoughts on Bianca and Jade being number 1, top 10 tag teams in the last year?
Somebody got to be goddamn drunk to make this list right here. This shit don't make no sense. Yep. If anything, FTR shouldn't have been number 10. They should have been at least, to me, at least top 5. Bloodline should have been at least the top 3.
True.
Bloodline carried that man for what, almost 2 years now? Come on. Who wrote this? Vince Russo?
What bothered me about this, honestly, is that Bianca and Jade, yes, they just became a tag team. Let me turn the camera here. Oh, look at you. 1 second. There you go. I turned off. You had FTR. You had a couple of tag teams, as we know. You had a couple people come in there in and out. It just bothers me that I'm gonna get the number right here. Here we go. So we have Bianca, Fraxium, Bishamon, the Young Bucks, TMDK, the ABC. These are real tag team names.
Yeah.
Saito Brothers, the Bloodline, Crazy Star, and FTR. Now, I tell my girlfriend and Bianca and Jade are number 1. Top 10 of the 100 tag teams.
Okay. Yes, Invisible Woman just walked into the room. Okay.
There you go.
Yeah. We did talk about this.
Last week, I think. Go on now, think about it.
I don't know. I haven't seen them fight that much, so I can't make like an objective judgment, but I don't know that's I don't know if I agree with the number one statement.
And you know what Fraxium is, which is Axiom and Frazier. That's they've been killing it as a tag team. They've been consistent.
And what we said for them was that while it's been repetitive, like they're good fights, like good fucking matches. It's just they keep doing the same shit over and over. But yeah, Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill, I've really only seen them fight like once or twice, and that was when they won the belt. And I remember Alex telling me, like, I think Jade, right?
Yep, that's Jade.
Jade, like, had a lot of botches in the past, stuff like that. And it's like, that's fine. Everybody learns and improves. But I don't know. I guess I'm just neutral towards it. Like, I want to see women of color succeed and thrive.
Yeah, of course.
But I want to see that across the board. And I feel like they have their hands spread so far that it's just with WWE and NXT, like, I don't know, they need to rein it in a little bit.
There's not a lot of diverse in the sense of like color tag teams of women's side, and even like tag teams of again, Joe said this last week that last NXT, like, why is it always like a black guy has to be with a black guy, Latino has to be with a Latino? Like, it's always like the color balance has to be the same color in order to be a tag team, which fucking sucks.
It's like, and I do kind of agree with what Joe has said in that, like, maybe they are kind of put into a box, and I want to see more in the characters. Like, they're good wrestlers for sure, but I want to see like more from the characters and more than they're getting. Like everything that happens is production, and that doesn't just apply to WWE. Like, that's with a lot of shit that we watch. The Circle, example given.
Oh my god, I'm gonna start in the fucking Circle.
Yeah, but
the point I want to say here too as well, they're the only, basically, not the one of two tag teams of color on the top 10. One of two, that's it. Bishamon, Fraxium, Axiom, and Frazier, one white guy, one Latino, right? Bishamon, I think Bishamon are two white guys. The Young Bucks are two white guys from Rancho Cucamonga, California.
Okay.
The ABC, I don't know who they are, so I can't tell you if they're color. The Saito brothers, they're black?
They're black.
They're black. The ABC are 6 and they're black. So we got 3 tag teams of color.
Okay.
The Saito brothers, who are Japanese, but that's NJPW. I don't look at them as color. I look at them as they're just NJPW. They're just over there, and that's their thing over there, and whatever. Crazy Star, I have no idea who they are, so whatever tag team they are, whatever. FTR, 2 white guys. So in this, you have 1, 2, 3. The Mighty Don't Kneel, TMDK, Australian, white. 3, 4, 5 white guys. 3 black guys, 3 black African American tag teams, and 1 Japanese. 1.
Okay.
Japanese tag team ain't that great either. They only have like a very few handful of tag teams over there, but they're famous.
And so that's like, is that like worldwide, like best tag teams?
Yes, all around the world. Top 10 of 100 around the world.
Okay. Well,
that's why, because FTR's in AEW, the Young Bucks are A&W, the Mighty O'Neil I think are in AEW, the ABC are someplace else, and Bianca and Fraxium are in WWE. Bishamon are not in WWE. That's
obviously, I'm only familiar with WWE, so a lot of these I just don't know.
Well, I understand completely. I understand.
Yeah. What do you guys think about it?
D-Walk said his thoughts. I really hate this shit because it's kind of like an ironic twist. They're the number 1 tag team, but 1 or 2 of them only deserve it.
Yeah.
Jade doesn't deserve anything until she gets better, and she knows she needs to get better. And I'm sorry to be a harsh critic for everyone. I'm not going against Jade at all, but Jade needs to get better, so the critics get less and less and less until there's none. For every match, there's a botch. Even Nia Jax, and God rest her botch ability, she botches at least once every 3 matches or once every 2 matches. So she's not getting better.
Well, and my issue with like wrestlers like Nia Jax is the the Nepo babies, basically.
Yeah.
Like the ones who just
cousin to The Rock. She is cousin to The Rock, yeah.
There you go. And I don't know. It's like if you're gonna go into something like wrestling, like you have to put in the training, no matter the time for training. Like it doesn't matter how important you are, or who you know, like put in the fucking time.
And she's been there way longer than Jade, and she has not gotten better. That's the part I want to say. And there's other tag teams that should have been there. I'm not saying Hank and Tank. I'm not saying OTM, because OTM shouldn't be on the list at all. If I check that list later and find out that OTM's like near the 30s or the top 40s, when they lose constantly, they shouldn't even be on the list. Because the list is based on how long you have a championship, how good your matches, the believability, the promos, outside the ring, inside the ring. That depends on everything. And Bianca and Jade can play those people that are angry at each other and angry at other people. Wrestling-wise, Bianca's the only one that's good. Yeah. Jade's not. And Bianca has only done wrestling for relatively only less than 6 years. And learned it. Yeah.
No, I find that Bianca and Jade on there, so they should have had Baron Corbin and Braun Breaker on there.
But that was a short-lived tag team. Short 2 months. They were dominating, and boom, that's it. But the point I want to say,
Who was that?
Braun Breaker is a really good wrestler.
Okay.
And then, yeah, they're two. Then Baron Corbin's another wrestler as well. Separately, they didn't really work out at the time that before they turned to a tag team. Once they got into a tag team, it actually worked. But it was very short-lived, only 2 months. Because Corbin had to do something, and they had plans for Braun Breaker. They wanted to take him up to the main roster, so that happens.
You know what's crazy?
Yeah.
The fucking Hardys is not. They should be top 5, at least top 10. They're not even on here.
They just got back to being a tag team. That's why, like, they can't count it. They go back all the way to the beginning of the year until now. So I understand that. Like, Hardy's just got here a month ago, so maybe 2 months. So that's probably why Baron Corbin and this guy's not there, because they've only been there for 2 months. They only had like maybe 4 matches, maybe at most, and then they separated. But again, I digress. I just hope they make an actual list for an actual tag team. So I'm not saying Axiom and Fraser are badass. They're consistent, but they're repetitive. They're always fucking repetitive. That's why I get mad. I get bored with tag teams. If there's variety and there's enough tag teams that you can spread each other apart for weeks or months at a time, then you have like 8 or 9 tag teams.
Yeah. I mean, I can't speak for like I said, anything except for WWE, but they definitely have been reusing the tropes like over and over and over again with the tag teams and just in general. So
sick of it. They're being lazy. Because if you got 9 if you just did a tag team battle royal and you have 8 to 9 tag teams, you need to start making storylines where it lasts a month or 2 months. Exactly, a month or 2 months, and then you cycle. And you cycle. That's what they used to do. That's how they did it back in 2015-16 in NXT Gold. There was only like 6 tag teams, but they cycled Villainy and Hero so many times. It was entertaining. There was literally two Latino wrestlers with a guy dressed as a little bull. There's a little person, sorry, in a bull costume. They had a rivalry with 2 guys whose their gimmicks, they would dress up like 1920s, like the bare knuckle brawl you see like this in the pictures. That's how they would dress, and they would wrestle like old timey people. They would do stretches and things that you only saw in carnivals back in the 1920s. But since they were trained by wrestlers who were in carnies, it was a good ass gimmick. But then one person had a beautiful voice and went someplace else in WWE, and another person got fired. So that's what I mean. But I forgot. They're called the Vaudevillains. I'm gonna find you a match of those. Really funny fucking matches. They're really great tag team, but they came in a time when you had to fight 2 Latinos in a bull, 2 guys that were the Road Warriors knockoff, a post-apocalyptic 4-man group with Nikki Cross, and then a tag team of two people that knew each other, but they knew that secretly they were going to kill each other, which is DIY. You get 4 of those crazy fuckers.
Mm-hmm.
I know. All right, moving on. The next topic of the subject. Well, let's talk about Ric Flair. I'm going to show this right here. I'm going to show this right here, and then I'll bring it up on my phone. Ladies and gentlemen, wait, actually, let me fix this so you guys can see this. It's going fast. I guess Joe's chilling with his family, which